Welcome to the training capsule. We are trying to answer the question of how can we help a child with developmental challenges learn to read and write in a way that is easy and enjoyable. If you ever felt that teaching reading and writing is especially difficult for children with autism, Down syndrome, or developmental delays, you are in the right place. Today, we'll explore practical tools, effective strategies, and a simple approach using the Beacon method to make learning more fun, engaging, and accessible. What will you learn in this training? How to understand a child's reading and writing level and choose the right strategy, how to use digital and paper based activities to support learning, how to provide the right kind of help to encourage success, how to global reading method works and why it helps children with special needs, how to handle common challenges and keep children motivated, how to bring reading and writing into everyday life at home, school, and in the community. Our goal: by the end of this training, you will have simple and practical strategies to help each child learn to read and write in a way that works best for them. Let's get started. Before we start teaching a child to read and write, we need to understand their current level. We cannot move forward without first checking what they know, what they need, and how we can help them best. The first step is like a map that guides you, ensuring that the child get the right support based on their abilities and challenges. One of the easiest ways to assess a child's level is through observation while using the Beacon method videos. We should pay attention to: does the child react to sound and images? Do they show interest and follow the videos with their eyes? Do they try to copy movements or sounds? Can they recognize images and connect them to meaning? This observation helps us understand how the child processes information, which is the first step in learning to read and write. Observation is important, but we also need to write down what we notice so we can track progress and adjust activities if needed. A simple record can include: can they recognize images on their own? Do they match words with images? Do they try to repeat sounds or say words? Do they stay engaged during reading or writing activities? By tracking these responses, we can see what is working and what needs extra support. To organize this information, we can use an initial assessment sheet where we can record key observations like recognizing images, matching images with words, trying to say words, following structures, learning activities. This helps us make better decisions about how to teach, which method to use, and where to focus extra supports. Most importantly, it makes learning more effective and meaningful for the child. In short, assessment is the first big step in helping a child learn to read and write. It helps us understand their abilities, choose the right approach, and avoid frustration. If we don't assess properly, we might start at the wrong level, making learning harder for the child, for us even. That's why our first goal is to observe, track, and understand before we begin to teach. Learning to read and write is a process that requires different tools and strategies. That's why we don't rely only on digital platforms like the Beacon method, but also include paper based materials to make learning more interactive and engaging. In this slide, we'll explore how hands on activities can help children remember words, improve focus, and strengthen learning through visual and physical interaction. The Beacon method provides 15 downloadables material to help children learn through word pictures matching, breaking down words into smaller parts, and building memory skills. Here are some ways we can use them. We can use this like flashcards with words and matching images. The child's task is to pair the correct word with the picture. This activity strengthens word recognition and helps children remember words more easily, matching words with pictures. Cut images into two pieces, horizontal, picture and word, or vertical. Reinforce reading skills while also improving attention and problem solving. We can provide these words and picture puzzles. Beyond the beacon printables, we can create more fun activities to boost learning. Here are two simple ideas. Syllable cards. Write syllables on small cards. The child must combine them to create words that helps them break down words into smaller parts and understand how level form sounds. Even you can do a word bingo, create a bingo board with different words and or pictures. As words as called out, the child must find or mark them. This game helps with focus, word recognition, and memory. Why is it important to mix digital and hands on activities? Using paper based learning helps children to strengthen memory and word recognition, take a break from screens and engage in hands on learning. Sometimes it's really hard to go through this point. Work independently without relying on a device. Practice in real life settings like home and school. Paper based activities are a great way to support learning. They give children more ways to practice and make learning fun and interactive. But sometimes children need extra help to complete tasks. How can we support them without making them dependent on assistance? We'll talk about how to provide the right support and when to reduce help so the child can help independently. Every child learns at their own pace, and some need more support than others. Our job is to help them when needed, but also gradually reduce assistance so they can learn independently. In this moment, we'll talk about different types of support and how to use them correctly so the children can gain confidence and independence in reading and writing. There are different ways to help a child complete a reading or writing task. We always start with the most help and slowly reduce support to build their confidence. There is the most direct type of help is full physical assistance, hand over hand support. We physically guide the child's hands to help them complete a task. It is useful to beginners who don't know how to start a task. We have also the modeling showing an example. We demonstrate how to do the task either by watching a Beacon video, showing them how to do it step by step, giving verbal instructions. This method helps the child see exactly what to do before trying on their own. We have also the partial support, small hints. Instead of doing the task for them, we give small clues to help them figure it out. For example, we might say, look at the first letter, it's M, point to the correct part of the activity. This way, the child is still thinking and learning by doing. We have also the support, minimal support is called, in pointing or looking. This is the lightest type of help. Instead of saying the answer, we just point to where they should look or look at the correct choice so they notice it. This encourages children to solve the problem on their own with minimal help. Why reducing support is important? A common mistake is helping too much or for too long. If a child always receives helps, they won't try on their own. That's why we should always ask ourselves, do they still need this much help, or can I reduce it? Are they showing signs of independence? Can I give them more chances to try on their own? A great way to do it is with fading, showing reducing help over time. We go from hand over hand support to modeling to small hints to minimal support or to no support at all. How this works in reading and writing. Let's see some examples of how this works in real learning. Imagine an example of matching words with pictures. If a child can't match words and pictures, we can hold their hand to guide them, model how to do it step by step, give a small hint like which one looks the same. Just point also until they find the answer on their own. For example, writing syllables. If a child struggles to write a syllable, we can guide their hands with the first try, show them an example how to they can copy, give a hint like try the first letter, tap on the paper to show where to write. Over time, we reduce support until the child can do it alone. Helping children is important, but the goal is independence. The best support is the one that gradually fades away as the child gains confidence. Now that we understand how to help and encourage independence, let's move to the next step. The goal reading method, a powerful strategy in the Beacon method that helps children learn words as a whole before breaking them into smaller parts. Many traditional reading methods focus on learning letters and sounds first, but for some children this can be challenging. A different approach called the global reading method helps children recognize whole words instead of breaking them down into letters or sounds. We explore what this method is, why it works so well for some children, and how we apply it into the Beacon method. What is the goal reading method? The goal reading method focuses on teaching whole words instead of letters by letter reading. It starts with meaningful words that the child already understands. It pairs words with images to help with recognition. It relies on repetition and visual memory. The child memorizes words first and later learns to break them into smaller parts. This approach allows children to recognize words before fully understands all the letters, making reading easier and more natural, especially for those with learning disabilities or challenges. How The Beacon method uses the global reading approach. We apply this method by reinforcing the connection between words, images, and sounds that represents all the Beacon method videos. Through videos, music, and repetition, children learn new words in a fun, engaging, and effortless way. This combination of visual and auditory learnings makes reading more natural and meaningful, and every child learns at their own pace. But here are some key strategies that will make global reading more effective. Start with functional words. Begin with words the child finds useful in daily life, like mom, water, house, play, chocolate, cookie. Also, pair words with images. Always show the written word and a picture together to help the child connect meaning. Use also multisensory reading. Combine different learning styles to reinforce understanding, seeing the word in visual, hearing it spoken or singing, auditory, using gestures or actions, kinesthetic, hands-on learning to use flashcards, puzzles, and matching games to make learning interactive. Also, move from whole words to smaller parts. First, help children recognize whole words, then, gradually introduce syllables and letters. The global reading method makes reading easier for children who struggles with traditional phonics. By teaching whole words first, learning becomes more intuitive and enjoyable. However, learning is not always smooth, and we may face challenges along the way. Then we explore common difficulties in reading and writing, and importantly, how to overcome them to ensure a positive learning experience. Every child has a unique learning style, and challenges are a normal part of learning to read and write. We will talk about the most common difficulties children face, and most importantly, how we can support them without frustration. The first common point and challenge is that the child refuses to participate. A child may lose interest or refuse to participate because of lack of motivation, fear of failure, or past frustrations. Or we can also have the child doesn't connect words with meaning. Some child struggle to understand that word represent this object or this idea, making it harder to recognize written words. Also, we can find difficulties focusing on tasks. If a child gets distracted easily, it can be difficulty to complete reading and writing activities. Also, we can find that the child relies too much on help and struggles to work independently. If a child always needs support, they might not develop the confidence to try on their own. Solutions to overcome these challenges: if the child refuses to participate, make it fun. Use flashcards with favorite characters. Turn learning into a game with bingo, with puzzles, with scavengers hunts. Keep activities short and rewarding. If the child doesn't understand word meaning, reinforce word pictures connections. Always show words with clear images. Repeat words in different formats: digital, paper, real, life object, 3D. Use gestures, movement, sounds to make meaning clearer. If the child has trouble focusing, adapt the activity. Break tasks into small steps. Use short work sessions with movement breaks. reduce distractions, and give immediate positive feedback. If the child depends too much on help, gradually remove support. Identify what type of help they need and slowly reduce it. Allow more independence practice. Ask widening questions instead of giving answers. Which one looks correct? Can you try it first? Every child learns differently, and challenges are just part of the process. The key is adapting our strategies to help each child move forward confidently. Next, let's talk about how to take what the child has learned and apply it in daily life. So reading and writing become a useful real world skill. Many times we focus on helping a child read and write during structured lessons, but true success happens when they use these skills in real life. We'll look at how to bring reading and writing into daily activities at home, school, and in the community so learning becomes natural, fun, and useful. Why it is important to use reading and writing in daily life? A child might recognize words in a lesson, but what happens when they see them in the real world? If they don't practice outside of class, reading and writing can feel like an isolated school activity instead of a real tool for communication. When children use reading and writing in everyday situation, they see its purpose and importance. Simple ways to use reading and writing every day. We can label in objects at home and school. Place labels with words on everyday objects to help children connect words with meaning. For example, put sofa on the sofa, door into the door. Put books in the library area. This builds reading skills naturally. Using picture signs with words, pictograms with words help children understand the connection between images and text. You can use them at home, kitchen, bathroom, bedroom labels, school, classroom labels, casuals, public spaces, grocery store, playground, bus stop, reading as part of daily routines. Create fun readings moments in everyday life, such as reading menus at restaurants, finding words on shopping lists, reading labels on food packages, noticing street signs while working. The more a child sees words in daily life, the more meaningful reading becomes. Writing for a purpose. Encourage children to write in real situations, leaving short notes at home, helping write a shopping list, writing short messages on paper or a device, completing greeting cards or drawing with words. This all these tools helps children understand why writing is important. Playing with reading and writing make learning fun with activity like scavenger hunt, where they find words, word bingo at home or school, matching games with words and images, story building games where they fill in missing words. By making reading and writing part of play, children learn without pressure. Reading and writing should not be limited to books and lessons. They should be part of the everyday life. When children see words everywhere and use them in real ways, they understand their importance and feel more confident and motivated. Now, let's go to this training with a summary of key points and a final message to encourage you to keep supporting your child's learning journey. We've explored how to help children learn to read and write with the Beacon method, using strategies, materials, and real life application to support their progress. Before we finish, let's talk a quick look at the most important points we've covered. Understand the child's starting level before teaching reading and writing. Use a mix of digital and paper based materials to help them learn in different ways. Provide the right support at the right time and gradually reduce it to build in confidence and independence. Use the global reading method to teach whole words first, making reading easier. Identify and address common challenges like low motivation, attention difficulties, and encourage reading and writing in daily life so it becomes a useful and natural skill. Learning to read and write is not a race, it's a journey of discovery. Every child learns at their own path, and our job is to support them, encourage them, and make learning enjoyable. Each time a child recognizes a word, points to a picture, or tries to read, they are building their future with our help. Let's continue to guide them with patience, always, creativity, and belief in their abilities. Thank you for being part of this training. Every word a child learns is a new opportunity. Let's keep creating opportunities together. The Beacon Method is here to support you in this journey. Have questions or want to share your experience? Feel free to explore more contents on our platform. See you in the next training lesson.